So March 5th, 47 degrees north of Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're up here checking the pollen and fondant. Fondant's fine. Pollen was completely consumed for 4 of them. So I gave them roughly about a ½ pound more, which is more than I gave them last time. So they completely devoured it. The only one that didn't get any pollen was 6 here to the left. They were by far our smallest double deep going into winter. And they are consuming it, probably about half of it. And they'll eventually get some more of it right now. I just let it be. But again, fondant's good on all of them. I would say 4 is going to be the next one up for some fondant. And that is the lightest colony doing the tip. So that's where we're at on the double deeps. And as you can see, there's a missing spot. 8 perished. And I'm about ready to dig into it. I didn't expect to be doing this today. I was really hoping it was a small cluster and they would make it, but there was some activity in there. But because it's 47, I'm sure it's curiosity of the neighboring hives and opportunistic bees going in for a quick grab. So we took it away, and we'll handle it the same way as 3 after a brief autopsy. Again, 8 was a single, just like 3. It was a late season catch in August, and I have overwintered singles before, so I don't think it's necessarily anything with what I'm doing here. It's just whatever was the problem when I caught them, and I'm speculating on both of them are just not well mated queens. Population was decent on 8. That's the one that refused to move in that I had to put in there. And everything seemed to be going fine, but I don't know, these late season catches with possibly virgin queens or poorly mated queens, that's the only thing I can think of. But I'm not in there yet, so we'll see what we find, and we'll go from there. All right, so here we go. I'm trying to make it so I'm not bobbling around and just trying to show frames and making this hard to watch. So anyways, from left to right, already we can see they didn't get even to the outside frame. And that's not very drawn out. So these are starter strip frames, which I've said over and over I prefer. So they didn't completely draw it out. There is some honey in there. You can see with that fishing line there, even though it's not connected at the bottom, it's still pretty solid. But so they had food. Looks like they had plenty of goldenrod. It's kind of interesting that on these frames there's just some bees that weren't part of the cluster, more than I've seen in the past, that they're really spread out. That's not where the cluster was yet. So again, these are all swarms that I catch. I'm not overly concerned. I will get in there a little bit more when I have both my hands available to me and dig around. But that's the start of the cluster. You can see some of these bees are waking up. I will go bang some of these frames over there. But this is what we're talking about with torpor. But there's no brood. Pretty sad. That's just not even a big enough cluster. So there you go. Some brood. Very patchy. Completely devoured these. But they weren't gonna make it. There's some live ones in here. And here's the bottom board. Again, I'll look around better, but doesn't appear to be a mite issue. So we'll see. I need both my hands though, and I'll get back to you. So there we have it. 8's gone. Didn't look like they were gonna survive at all. There was no resources in the area they were at. There was no eggs in the area they were at. Lots of butts sticking out of cells as if they were starving in place. I did take any of the ones that were still alive and banged them out on the porch here on 6. And I have been watching them march in. So that's kind of telling me that possibly maybe there wasn't even a queen that was alive in there, because there doesn't seem to be much resistance for them to be going in and joining 6. So I'm pretty happy about that. Gives them a chance to live, a chance to do more, but that thing was too small, and I'd rather have the box in the hive stand place for a swarm to catch this year. That thing was small, and it was going to be a ton of work if there even was a queen in there. I don't see a queen in there. I don't believe there's a queen in there, but I'm just not that emotionally attached to swarms that I catch. I can understand if you have bought your bees. Of course, hopefully it wouldn't have been that small of a colony going into winter as a late season catch, but you know, I certainly understand if you purchase your bees holding off. I recommend that you hold off, because there's always a possibility. In this case, I think it was slim to none though. So anyways, I did wrap up 8. There's some resources in there and stuff. I do not like robbing. I ratchet strapped it all down. You can see I didn't put it in its spot on the hive stand, because any of these bees that are waking up on the porch of 6, I don't want them to get confused and think that they can enter that box. They can't. I want them to actually be disoriented and, you know, join 6 or 4 or something like that. Hopefully. I know they're not, you know, many of them probably won't, and they will be confused, but some of them have a chance. And 6 was our weakest double deep, so that's why I chose that one to bang them out on the front porch. And they're waking up, and there's a little bit of scrapping going on. But all the bees in 6 are up in that top box, so they can join that bottom box. Maybe there's some resources. Maybe it'll be warm enough, and once the pheromone smell of their old queen gets off them, then hopefully they'll be able to join. I've seen other people do this in Michigan, similar to this, so we'll see. Never done it before, but I'm not going to fight with a colony that had less than a baseball size of live bees and no eggs and no brood. I mean, if there was a queen, she started laying today, 28 days, they're done. It's just not going to happen. Plus, there's no pollen. They weren't eating the pollen I gave them to even raise brood. So, I don't know. I hoped it was going to survive, but it did not. And I helped it along in that process, but I'm trying to boost 6 here, so we'll see. All in all, good day. Everybody but 6. Again, that's the weakest of the double deeps. Got 1/3 of a pound of Hive Alive pollen patties, and those other 4 are tearing it up. And the activity at 4 is ridiculous. Pollen going into 4. 1 over there has a lot of activity at the entrance. That's next in line. 6 is fair and Nine's probably the least amount, but as the sun rises, nine's the last to get full sun because of the structure close to it, and 6 is the first to get full sun, and it'll lose the sun first because of the structure on the other side of it. So anyways, that's where we're at, and we'll see how it goes. And I hope your bees are well, and thanks for watching, and take care.